What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights. And as you guys may know, the market is down. The stock market's down, crypto market's down, gold and silver are up. And right now, a lot of that is coming down to the fact that there has been airstrikes launched by Israel into Iran, I should say. So right now, you can see there is a conflict taking place because militant groups in Gaza have intensified, and Iran has gotten closer to developing the enriched uranium weapon, which would be a nuclear weapon. As they've continued to enrich uranium, the idea of them getting closer and closer to actually having weapons, I guess they have enough uranium for about 9 weapons. Israel takes this as a threat, and they've decided that at some point in time they're going to need to strike Iran. Israel is saying to Iranian people, this is not about you. It's not about the people of Iran. It's about the regime that has been controlling Iran. As you guys know, there was the Iranian Revolution when the Shah of Iran was overthrown by the Ayatollahs. And ever since then, it's been a big change for Iran. If you look at videos and pictures of Iran, say, I don't know, maybe 50 years ago, there was actually women wearing bikinis on beaches. Nowadays, women have to go out in public in full burqa and hijab. And so basically, the message from Israel is, hey, we're going to liberate you too, as we basically, they say, as they bring down the regime. So we'll see what ends up happening. But the offensive against Iran's aggression has begun, and the markets are reacting. Now, the things you have to take into consideration with the markets reacting is it usually creates buying opportunities. These are knee-jerk reactions in the markets, and typically, now this is not professional financial advice. You always need to do your own research. I have to put that out there because some people, uh, you know, jump the gun, but you always need to do your own research. The thing that I'm saying is that if you look at the charts previously, whenever there was an event, there was usually a flash crash followed by like a V-shaped recovery. And so when markets go down and you get these dips, people call it buying opportunities, and typically it can be a good thing. Right now, what we're seeing is oil prices have jumped over 5%. So the price of oil is up, pushing the barrel $90 per barrel, right? So that means airline travel stocks, they're going down because it's going to be more expensive for them to purchase fuel. And then safe havens like gold, US treasuries, and Bitcoin, although they're falling off, usually what ends up happening is all of a sudden people start to look at them as safe haven resources. So there's always this knee jerk. Everyone goes into cash at some point or into gold. So we'll see what ends up happening. Right now, the gold price is around 34.21. We talked about buying gold and silver recently. Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes and joining into this chat. Let us know who's out there. I'll read some comments as time goes by. We are a brand new channel and getting up and coming. But let's get back on subject here. So what you can expect with something like this, usually stocks like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, they end up going up in price, although the U.S. is claiming that they don't have any sort of approval of this airstrike. They didn't approve it. They're saying they're agnostic to it. They didn't, they're trying to negotiate with Iran. I know that when Trump went to Saudi Arabia recently, he was talking to MBS, which is Mohammed bin Salman, about he's the ruler of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia considers Iran a threat as well. It's not just Israel. And they talk about, well, if Iran gets a weapon, does Saudi Arabia have to get a weapon? So it's kind of like a tit for tat. You hit us, we'll hit you. But Trump talked about it over there. And, I'm assuming that Qatar, UAE, and Saudi all basically said, hey, what are we going to do about Iran? Something needs to be done soon. And this has kind of been ramping up. Even the Houthis in Oman, we saw what was going on with that recently, or was that Yemen? I'm sorry, not Oman, it's Yemen. But there is an escalation, and a lot of this has to do with Hezbollah and the radical groups that are funded by Iran, that are basically state-sponsored terrorist cells to fight against stability in the Middle East, essentially, but forwarding more of the agenda of the Islamic uh, agenda that they're fighting for. So there's Islam, and then there's what they consider to be radical Islam, and they consider Hezbollah to be more of and Iran to be more of a radical sect. It's kind of like what you would see in any institution where you have radicals and then you have moderates. So when global strikes happen like this, markets overreact in the short term, and then creates an opportunity for you, the investor, to come in and possibly buy things. I mean, right now there's a pre-market meltdown. I mean, we don't know how low this can go. We don't know if it's just a short-lived I recovery, it goes down and then comes back up, kind of like an I, or if it's going to be more of a V, or if it's going to be, more of an L. We'll see. But more than likely, we've seen I mean, the market's just reacting right now. It's happening as we speak. Let's just see. S&P is down, Nasdaq is down, pretty much all stocks. Bitcoin is down. Gold and silver is up right now, like we said earlier. But it seems like everything's down around. I mean, wow. There's some taking place right now. 8%, 20%. S&P futures not down too much. Dow futures not down too bad, but Boeing had that big issue with the plane crash yesterday. That could also be a factor or an opportunity to buy Boeing. I mean, you hate to make money off of tragedy. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you're doing, but when the price goes down because of a tragedy, it does create a lower price, which creates an opportunity to possibly buy Boeing. Boeing is, I mean, the details on that are not out yet. We don't know what's gone on. Some people have speculated terrorisms. We don't know what happened with that, but I know that Air India doesn't exactly have the highest track record for cleanliness or maintenance on their aircraft. But Boeing also doesn't have a great reputation. So we'll have to see what ends up coming about with that. But I see you guys out there smashing up the likes. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. What do you guys think about the market situation as we see it with Iran and Israel? Do you think the market's knee jerk is temporary, or do you think it's going to lead to a meltdown? It seems like lately, every time something has happened, whether it's a fallout with Musk and Trump or tariffs, the market goes down, it reacts, overreacts, goes down, and then it recovers. And what we've seen is that every time it went down, it created a buying opportunity for you, the retail investor. But there are a couple things that I would highlight. Number one is it doesn't appear as though Buffett has bought back into the market. So he went into cash and he still hasn't gone back in. I'd be curious to hear why Berkshire or why Buffett has such a large cash position, being that, he's one of the best investors of all time with wisdom. He has that. He's a little bit older, but he's got still wisdom, and we'll see what ends up happening. But getting back to the conflict, in 1973, there was the Yom Kippur War, the Gulf War of 2008. There's also been the Lebanon conflicts. So there's a lot of instability around that region. But, we'll see what ended up happening. During the 1973 oil crisis, the S&P dropped 17% in weeks. But, are we going to see something like that? That would be crazy, right? We saw that kind of with the tariffs. But the best plan here, I would say for me, is stay diversified. Geopolitical shocks, they cause swings in the market, but pay attention to oil prices, pay attention to defense stocks, pay attention to gold and silver, and, consider safe haven assets. In this case, you have gold and even cash. Cash is still got a utility, right? You don't want to be too much in on anything, but you want to be kind of making moves and positioning yourself for wins. It just seems like these opportunities in the last few years, at least the last 5 years since the events of 2020, every time the market course corrects, it always ends up creating an opportunity to buy, and those who buy end up winning long term. So we'll have to see how this all shakes down. Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, and we'll continue to make some content about this as we track the markets globally and here, in the U.S. Right now, I am overseas though, but I was actually considering going over to Dubai and Qatar, although it's hot now. That was the only thing holding me back, but this is now a second reason why I wouldn't go over there, because it looks like there's going to be some instability, although we have heard chatter about this Israel strike coming. I think everyone kind of anticipated it. We didn't know when it was going to happen, but this is a conversation that's been going on for at least 20 years now. I mean, it was always, the comment was always, as Iran gets the weapon, how do you stop them from getting the weapon? Because once they have the weapon, they'll almost guaranteed to get the weapon, to use the weapon of mass destruction. The WMD conversation comes up, but why is Iran so dedicated and committed to enriching uranium, and then refusing to actually not stop the program? The word is out, like, hey, we want to remove the sanctions, we want to see Iran flourish, but you have to stop the Iranian or uranium enrichment. Uranium kind of sounds the same, but it's just like they don't want to stop enriching the uranium, and you have to wonder why. Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes, and we'll see you on the next one.